All right, guys, Furiosa. Let me tell you the plot if you don't know it. It's the origin story of renegade warrior Furiosa before her encounter and team up with Mad Max. Yeah, so basically it's just an origin story, and it's a revenge tale, a tale as old as time, right?
Yeah.
And
the prequel to Fury Road.
Fury Road, yeah, the prequel to Fury Road. What did you guys think of it?
Loved it.
Loved it. Yeah, I did as well.
Well, unrelated to the movie, I knew I was in trouble when the guy behind me lost it for the Deadpool trailer.
Did he?
Yes.
Was up in arms, over the top excited,
Was he?
responding to the screen for the trailer of Deadpool.
How do you
That's-
always get the most entertaining crowds? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
It goes later in the night.
It wasn't
I think.
entertaining,
Yeah.
but
Just
it was
annoying.
rough.
Yeah.
You get the most animated crowds, and like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, when I saw Strangers, the best part was the guy during the trailer for the new Crow.
Yeah.
It's quite obvious that the trailer is for the Crow.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole dialogue about like, oh, when a spirit dies, it's
Yes,
Crow.
yes.
And the guy goes, the Crow? And then at the
he was some smart,
yeah,
you know.
and then at the end of the trailer, there goes, that's a remake. Like so proud of himself, and I was like, yeah, we all know that. We're all of age. Like there's nobody 18 in
That's
here.
why I go to the movies at like 10 a.m. and there's no one there. That's all.
His chick was
that's the
hot
reason.
though.
Let me
and they
just-
sat next to me, like literally in the seats next to me. Open theater. She goes, "Oh, sorry, I'm right next to you," and then sat down. I was like, "Great."
Yeah. Let me just break down what happens in the beginning, all right?
Yeah.
So it begins with young Furiosa. She gets kidnapped by an outlaw biker gang and taken to their power-hungry, mad leader, Dementis, right? Played by Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth. I'm going to be honest. I love that first 30 minutes. I mean, that is arguably my favorite part of the movie, with her getting kidnapped and her mom chasing her down. You know,
Well, you get to see the green place that she talks about.
yes,
In Fury
the green
Road.
place, yeah, it looks so much different than any Mad Max location up to this point. You know what I mean? And it's the place of abundance.
Kind of shows her like taking the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, they
off
say
the tree.
place of
Yes.
abundance so many times.
The forbidden fruit. You're right. And then, yeah, she gets taken by the outlaw gang. Her mom comes after her. Very intense scene, because you don't want them to take her to Dementis, because then they're gonna make her tell them where the location is.
try to, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty early on though, everything looks CGI.
You think?
Even stuff like every motorcycle accident, like it was almost slow-mo because it was
Yeah.
CGI.
There's
instead of
more
real
CGI.
accident.
I would say this. I think a lot of it is still real.
And well,
but
like I just said at your house, like I feel like it looks a lot more CGI than it does because it was in those weird cameras that almost like the stupid 8K at the end of boxing matches or UFC,
Yeah.
where it shows the person and you're like, this is so real, it doesn't look real.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, it's more CGI than Fury Road.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is still real. And I think he did a lot of it practical. But,
Yeah.
But yes, a lot of it is still
It's just more like
green screen.
stylized, I think.
Yeah. It's
CGI
almost,
wise.
It's almost too like perfect in a way. Like
Yeah, it's-
clean.
yeah,
It's
it's-
almost too much.
Yeah, because real is dirty, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's so clean that it looks
I think
like
Fury
CGI.
Road was a little dirtier.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Fire in comparison to Fury Road, on par with Many Saints in Newark.
You think
Just
it looked
saying.
bad?
The fire, because there was parts where you could tell it was CGI fire instead of real fire.
Yes.
And like Fury Road looked great.
Yeah.
This in comparison didn't look great. Didn't like it.
It looked really cool. I thought when
Some of it,
when
yeah.
she was on fire and riding the bike, getting away.
That looked everything
that
great.
looked awesome.
Yeah,
she was
but-
just
but
like, she was like, she just ignored it. She
that
was like,
wasn't
I'm
but,
getting
like-
out of there, and then taking that off.
Like big fire is what I'm talking. Like when there was more than just like one small central fire. Like it didn't look real.
Where she was against that gate and the fire was around her. You remember that?
Yeah.
That looked iffy. I get what you're saying there.
I thought it looked cool.
You thought so? I
Whole
thought
thing,
so
yeah.
too. I
Then when
I
they
mean-
where are they pulling up that thing? Whatever they're like, Dementis is flying in the air. Looks like the alien in Nope.
yeah,
It did look like an alien. I was like, okay, what are we doing here?
Once I seen that, I was like, what the hell's happening right
Yeah.
now? There's never been in a Mad Max movie
Yeah.
like something like that,
Yep.
and I'm like, what?
And they didn't
oh.
even attempt to explain it. You're like, okay,
And
what's,
then later
what's
on,
going on?
you find out it's like a parachute type deal.
Yeah.
Which was an awesome way to
Yeah.
show it.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Then the dude behind me again lost it when Hemsworth said, lady and gentlemen's. The guy lost it.
Yeah, he did have some good lines in this. Like, you remember, like, so he's like kind of like a Ben-Hur type, like riding a chariot of motorcycles and
It
like
was an awesome setup.
treating them like they're some like religious entity or something. Like that guy explaining to
Yeah.
him, like he's worshiping that bike.
Well, then I said at times they really wanted him to look like Thor, huh? Like the whole
Sometimes, yeah.
get up, like the
Besides the nose and the teeth.
outfit, and then like the red cape, like it just looked like,
A little Thor.
yeah, they were like, well, let's lean into this whole Thor
It's
bit.
hard to not make him look like Thor.
Yeah.
You just have
I
that
thought
in
it
your
was
mind. And
sweet how this cape turned red.
It
and that
looked
mist,
awesome,
and,
Oh
like,
yeah, it looked sick.
his cape
but
red?
There was
Really,
like he was
his beard was
gradually
red?
turning
Yeah.
more into Thor.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
Which isn't a knock on it,
And
it
then
just was-
later, his cape was like dark, and he had like a dark phase. You remember that?
Mm.
Very cool. He had a very cool look. I think, as far as acting, he stole the show. I think he had some.
He was an awesome villain.
He had the best dialogue, and honestly, like Hemsworth, I thought was going to kind of phone it in. Like going in, I'm like, oh, he's just a Marvel actor. This, I think, legitimized him, in my opinion. Like he can do stuff that's out of his element, and out of his.
I think even in the Marvel
comfort
stuff,
zone.
he brings way more comedy than like
He's a funny
you
guy.
expect from like Thor.
He's
you
got
expect
good
Thor to be
timing,
lame.
comedic
Yeah.
timing. He's funny, man. And he turned it up to 11 as far as like crazy madman goes. in
Yeah.
this. But what do you guys think about like Furiosa's like arc? What do you think it is? Because the movie's all about like a character arc. What A to B? What did she go from beginning to the end? Like,
I mean, she was soul revenge is what she wanted.
Yeah.
That's all she cared about throughout the whole movie. was,
yeah,
Like
I know.
tunnel vision.
She was
for-
vengeful.
Yeah.
But what was like her end arc? Like her end. You know what I'm saying?
She got revenge. She can move on.
But
So
she
you think
didn't.
she was-
She didn't move on though.
Driven by hate to driven by hope.
Well,
She
didn't
moved on
move
from that.
No, she didn't, because she was growing a tree out of him. He was still alive.
Yeah, but
She was like nurturing
but she
the tree
got him,
inside his
so-
yeah,
body.
she got him.
Then
Yeah, but
she
she
was-
didn't move on. If she moved on, she
Yeah,
wouldn't
did,
be
'cause then
taking care of the tree
her
inside his
goal in
body.
Fury Road was like to get to the green place back there. So
I think that was like a subconscious level she didn't move on, but consciously she moved on, I think. And what do you think? Vengeful to benevolent? Something like that?
almost vengeful to a fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely vengeful to a fault. But she's very brave, she's very determined, and she works her way back to him over like 18 years this movie takes place. And to kill Dementis for killing her mother. He killed her mother, he made her watch.
Yeah, I mean, he was super sadistic villain. So
Super sadistic.
Yeah, but I mean, then in the end, she was like just as sadistic.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
eye
mean,
for an eye.
Yeah, I mean, she sacrificed a bit of herself to get revenge, but that's the way revenge movies kind of go, you know? Like,
If you think about it, he killed her mom, and then the next person she connected to was the guy, and killed him right in front of her
Praetorian
too.
Jack, yeah.
Right in front of her. So
Yeah.
dragged him around on like.
Here's the thing, like, so when her mom sacrificed herself for her to get away, she went back for her mom.
Yeah.
Right.
And watched the mom die. And then Praetorian Jack did the same exact thing. He sacrificed himself. He looked back at her and he's like, no. He's like, go.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm
run.
going to sacrifice myself so you have time. And then...
Which kind of makes her an idiot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Fool me
She goes-
once.
She goes back twice for the people that try to help her. But,
It's tough not to for your mom. I mean, you're not just gonna be like,
Right.
all right, mom, see ya.
yeah, your mom, but Jack, she probably should have left Jack.
She's not that kind of a hero.
know, that-
Jack Mehoff.
How about the world building, though? That was pretty cool with Gastown and Bullet
I
Factory.
thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it showed you some different
The
factions.
3 different
Yeah.
places.
Fortresses.
Bullet Town.
Yep.
That's what I
Gastown.
felt. That was like before Bullet Town is the only when it lulled for me.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it was the chapters like between 3 and 4 maybe, but it was like whatever leading up to Bullet Town is where I was like almost like, oh, this is taking a little while to get there. But
That's
then when
where
it
it-
got there, I was like sick again.
That is where it lulled a little bit between chapter 3 and 4, or 4
Which
and 5.
Fury Road didn't do that to me at all.
No, here's the
It
thing.
didn't.
Here's my take on
My
that.
hand is
right?
stuck in the chair.
So it jumps 18 years, right, over the course of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Fury Road takes place in what, like a few days, and like that's to me in a movie. If you're jumping around like that, time jumps. It like just like it kind of like takes the momentum and just cuts it right
Yeah,
there.
it kills.
Ken.
Cuts it. That's my opinion.
Then you're always thinking like, what were they doing for 2 years
Exactly.
when they weren't? She wasn't going after him. What was she doing?
What were they doing for like how old did she age like in that amount of time? Like 10, 15 years, right? Like
Yeah, because she was what, like 10 when she was, or
Yeah.
12 or something.
yeah, like that's the thing with me. I don't time jump in a movie, man. It works sometimes. It worked
Right.
in this movie, but it could have. I don't know.
I've seen movies where it definitely doesn't, and you're
Yeah.
like, well, that doesn't make any sense now with the time jumps.
Yeah, it works sometimes. It worked in this.
Well,
but
then I
I'm
don't
just
want
saying,
to. I don't
as far
want
as
it to seem
momentum.
like I'm just dumping on it because I liked the movie,
Oh, it's a great.
and I do like even some of the super stylized didn't work for me, but I do like it was like all the cool shit from Mad Max, and like kind of flair from like David Lynch's Dune type, and then like even cool stuff from Waterworld. all in like a Mad Max movie. Like it took little pieces of like the weird humor and like odd like aesthetic kind of those other movies and made it the aesthetic of Mad Max.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, it took a little bit of like politics too, and gave you these different factions and stuff. And
I like they had the little Mad Max Easter egg. Showed them on the hill.
That was awesome, right? Wow. Yeah, that was really cool. I was hoping for more Mad Max, but like that was fine. You know,
the old Trojan horse.
Yeah.
Never. How does it? It never doesn't work.
Yeah.
They always use a Trojan horse and just always works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Tried and true.
You know, with those towns though, I thought the Wasteland seemed more like believable. You know what I'm saying? Like, because before all we had was
Open road.
Just an open road, and then
Gas
also
town.
the Citadel, and that's really it.
Yeah, there wasn't really like a point to the Fury Road as much.
Yeah.
This way they had like they were trading and they had points.
Yes,
like
it
survival.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
Now, you know. It
Did
gives it
you
more
guys
plausibility
think
or whatever.
that the guy who kept saying digger was trying to get away with something else?
Who was saying digger?
I'm not gonna remember.
I didn't catch that.
He said it a few times, and I was like, sounds like he's trying to slip in the N-word.
Really?
Hey, so I got a question. Who do you guys think is more evil, Immortan Joe or Dementus?
Dementus.
Well, if you think
Ooh,
about it, Immortan
that's
Joe,
hard.
he impregnates women trying to get what is it called, a pure life? So he's basically raping these
Yeah,
women,
and makes
trying
them
to get-
milkers and
Yeah,
shit.
trying to get a pure life, and then like ruling with an iron fist. And you see how those people in the holes were living.
I guess it just depends on
I
what
guess because
things they do hit on your personal like bugaboos.
They just showed like
because they both
all the
cross.
stuff Dementus did. That's probably why I think he's more evil.
They cross different.
He was more the villain in this movie than
They-
Immortan Joe.
they both cross-
Immortan Joe in this one was painted in a better
Yeah.
light. You know what I'm saying?
They both cross very different lines.
yeah, they're both bad dudes.
They're both evil, just differently evil. Yeah.
I did write down nice Offspring belt buckle because there was just that huge skull that looked like the Offspring.
It
Circle.
did look like it. Yeah, so Dementus, he's crazed, relentless, cold-blooded, selfish, and he's just a maniac hell-bent on just, like, getting power. And it
I
seems
love, like-
he never can get it, though. Whenever he gets it, he messes it up.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he can't get out of his own way.
Yeah.
Well, I loved when he first got to the Citadel and he was like telling him taking this over.
Yeah.
And more times Joe's like just picks a guy and he just drives down like suicide bomb. He's like,
And
no,
then
you're
they
not.
They start picking him up with hooks and
Yeah.
stuff, like bombing and all sorts
Like
of
this is how much they follow me. Like this guy's gonna blow up on your guys.
Right.
So
that
you
was
can
a-
bail now.
That was a great way to show power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you guys know I'm into screenwriting and stuff, and I took screenwriting and stuff. So like the forces of antagonism or whatever, like, so you're supposed to put your character through hell, and I think she pretty much went through it, right? She had to deal with.
Well, yeah,
She had a pretty rough go.
She had to deal with her mother being slaughtered in front of her,
which was
And then
kind of
she-
her fault.
and then she had to deal with being in Dementus's gang, like watching them go through the wasteland and just kill people and torture people, and she had to deal with that. And then she was given to Morton Joe, who she had to build up her like trust and rank, I guess, to get on the road, to be a part of the rig, to get back to at Dementus. And she just went through hell, right? I mean, and then she got her arm like
Ooh, yeah.
effed up by Dementus, and
Yeah.
and then she got Jack taken away from her, even though she didn't really, I don't think she cared that much about Jack. But
And that, I don't know if you caught it, but that, because her arm was hanging there and she had like the stars and stuff on her arm.
Yeah.
That was, I'm guessing that's why they found like the green place and destroyed it, because she left her arm with the,
Yeah, the
right,
map on it.
yeah.
Wow. Right, that's a good call. Good
Yeah,
eye.
like it's all in a. If you're like a real negative Nancy, it can all be tied back to like most of it's her fault, even though she didn't intentionally.
Yeah.
Like she didn't mean to get her mom killed, but because she got caught is why her mom got killed.
Yes.
She's so
And
caught
then
up in her
because
own.
Jack escaped with her is why he got killed.
Yes.
Like
so
it's all.
She was vengeful
yeah.
to a fault. You know. She was,
Well, and remorseful. Like she felt bad about all of it because it was all, in a way, her fault. A roundabout way, her fault.
yeah.
One minor thing, it's not even like really that negative, but like when she was grown up and like hiding amongst the guys as like a chick,
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way you wouldn't be able to tell she's a chick.
Oh, look at her eyes.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no
she's
way.
Just
Wow.
beautiful woman and
Yeah.
Then just
hiding-
pointing out her eyes, she's self-conscious about that, man. Don't bring it up.
Right. You brought that up briefly. Is that to get revenge on Dementus? She like turned him into like a living tree that like was malnourished,
Which was
and
sick.
It was awesome.
you know, like bankrupt of nutrients
Yeah.
and stuff.
Which was honestly was a little like a surprise
So-
because I thought she was in it like when she was just fucking him up in the desert.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like she might just kill him there, and
I
then
thought that's what happened.
later it showed like the tree growing
Yeah.
out of his body. And
Well,
like,
they said that was like a rumor.
and yeah,
That's what Furiosa whispered to him.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
well,
yeah.
then feeding that fruit to people from the tree growing out of his body is sick.
it is very sick.
That's
yeah.
hard.
I just said it
It
reminded
is.
me of like an Asian like revenge, how they do like the twisted stuff in
Oh yeah,
Asian
like
movies.
Takashi
Like
Miike
old boy
almost.
stuff.
Which
type
brings
stuff.
us to the title card of Chapter 5, which was Beyond Vengeance.
Yeah.
So that's like, yeah. But
Which
yeah,
sounds like a throwdown record.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, that was a brutal way to get back at him, and just like leaving him there for, I guess, until he died of old age. He's just
he
just a
looks so old.
skeleton of a man. But
I thought that whole last part was awesome. How she just kept chasing him and wouldn't stop, and then he's like, "All right,"
kind of
F it,
toying
like,
with him.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like you got me.
playing with her food.
You're obviously not going to stop. So.
But that,
And then he got
honestly, that was one of the
fussed-
best parts of his too. I feel like his like whole performance was how he was like playing back with her. Like even though he was dead on sight, he was still like fucking with her. And I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
it was awesome.
He had-
When he was
that's-
like, "Wait, who was your mom again?" I don't know.
shows
and
he
then,
had
like,
some balls.
Yeah.
He
And
had
then he was
balls,
like,
man.
"You're as bad as I am," and he's like, "You might as well just kill me now." Like,
Pretty much, yeah, taunting her and whatnot. But how about that? I forgot to mention that line he had when he was tasting her tears, and like he asked, "What are these?" And the guy said, "Human tears," and they had different tastes,
Yeah.
the ones of joy and ones of sadness. And he said something about, "Yes, the tears of sadness taste more." And then he used a adjective. I can't remember what he said.
sweeter or salty or something.
Yeah, something. It was very funny.
He had kind of like a Negan-esque like villain. He was like
He did.
he had like sarcasm and stuff, but then he was evil, like so sadistic.
Yeah,
But
very sadistic. But like
He had
also
personality.
hard to explain, like a religious type, even like a messiah or something. You know what I mean? Like with the whole get
he
up.
thought he was.
Yeah, like a
get up
true
and-
believer.
He would speak when he spoke. It was like he had some like Shakespearean flair or
They
something.
always said that like megaphone.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the way his speaking. What's the word I'm looking for?
Eloquent.
Yeah, something like
Grandiose.
that. Yeah. But it was funny, man. But the themes of the movie: female empowerment and resilience and identity, or whatever.
Revenge.
Yeah, revenge.
I feel like Ben's trying to shoot for the ally angle now.
Right. Yeah, but her quest for revenge, it consumes her, right?
I feel like
Changes her whole character from like this sweet little girl to like this badass, destructive.
Ben, you're
warrior.
the only one that saw it twice, right? Joe, you didn't, did you? Did you, the second time, did you think you liked it more or made you appreciate it more or anything like that?
I did. The second time, I liked it even more.
Okay.
Yeah. I liked it the first time, but I really liked it the second time. And but here's the thing, with that, everything that happened to her, I think it toughened her up for like the real world in a sense, like of the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Because like in that, what's it called, that safe place, what is it?
The green place?
The green place. Like she didn't
At least
know anything. It was just like it was like a safe space.
Well, it was supposed to stay safe.
Yeah, it was supposed to stay safe, but
Then
like,
some random bikers showed up that were just,
that could be taken into like the literal world, where someone who's like kind of sheltered or something goes out into the real world, and they're like, oh shoot, this is different. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like,
at least in this, like, her character wasn't like an annoying crybaby like children tend to be in like movies like this, where it's like a post-apocalyptic thing.
right.
And like the road, the kid was awful.
Unbearable, you said.
Yeah, but like she wasn't really like that. Like
She was great. She was
Yeah.
tough. I thought, speaking of performances, so the acting, yeah, like we said, Chris Hemsworth was great as Dementis, but also, what's her name? Alila Brown, I think is how you say her name. Alila Brown.
no idea.
The little girl. She was awesome.
I know who you're talking about,
She
but
was awesome. She mixed like rage and like grief and sadness and also like just pain so well. You know what I mean? Like some of the looks she gave Chris Hemsworth, Dementis or whatever, was just like, wow, that girl gets it. She understands, and she's so young. So
I thought it was cool. They had that history dude just
Yeah.
alive. He was kept in a cage to like his only reason for staying alive was he tells them like history
well, and he
stuff.
told her she could be that.
he's
Yeah.
like a dictionary and
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, he just has
history
tattoos
buff.
of facts all over.
Yeah,
him.
right. He said, make yourself invaluable, and
Yep.
Dementis will take care of you.
Like, he could have been making history stuff up, but he
Oh,
just
for
like
sure.
was telling Dementis.
He
so,
definitely
yeah.
was.
As far as dialogue goes, I think Hemsworth obviously had the best lines. He had a lot of good ones. A good line he had was, "Where are you going so full of hope? There is no hope."
Yeah.
I like that line. That's a good one. He had a lot of good ones. The cinematography, we touched on that. Like, I think a lot of the frames in the movie could be like framed on your wall. It looks so beautiful. Like a lot of the movie. and it's just George Miller is just a master of like
He does take his time.
the framing and just
Yeah, about 10 years.
yeah, right. It just looks so awesome.
Not as good as Babe, but it was still pretty good.
Babe 2, Pig in the City.
It's got a beautiful like it's got a beautiful look to it, but yet it's so like rough and dirty as well, like and just barbaric.
I mean,
It's
didn't realize until I looked it up at your house that his wife edited Fury Road, but not this one. I feel like he should have had her edit this one.
no, I think the editing was good.
Maybe that's what made the stuff look like CGI. It was editing.
Right. No, but
I
like
hated the bullet waterfall being CGI. That is,
Was it CGI?
bro. Did you see it?
Did
you see the same movie I did?
Are you talking about when he's hanging there?
Yeah.
And it's raining down.
Even in the trailer, you can tell it's CGI.
It didn't look that bad. That looked cool.
I thought it looked cool.
How much can it cost to fucking have a
I thought it looked
bullets?
as real as could be.
And I'm not sure it was CGI.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it wasn't, I didn't like the way it was shot.
That's funny. If it
Put different bullets in there.
Yeah, but George Miller is just a master of like creating his
Yeah,
own
I get like
world and like
it's how he wanted it to look. I get that.
he's he's so good at creating costumes. The vehicles are so unique, and just that aesthetic is
Dude,
so unique.
Showing just a clip of the guitar guy is fucking
That was
classic.
awesome.
Yeah, there was certain things in
Doof Warrior.
in
What a
Fury
legend.
Road that I liked better that they did, like when they would drink the gasoline and spit it in the engine and it would make them go faster.
Yes.
Or the silver spray and it
Yes.
would make them crazy.
They
I
did
like
do the
that
silver
stuff.
spray.
I think once or twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did it a few times.
In the end, there were clips of Fury Road.
Yeah.
Best part.
Although it was a 2.5 hour movie, I didn't think it felt like 2.5 hours.
In the middle, it sludged a
yeah,
little, like you were saying, but
To me,
for the most part,
it didn't feel longer than 2.5 hours, but it definitely felt like 2.5
you felt
hours.
the whole 2.5.
Like Babylon was almost 4, and it didn't feel long to me. I loved it.
I liked how some of her mother's actions when rescuing her were like mirrored by her. Like when she was rescuing Praetorian Jack, when she was sniping.
Well, yeah, like
helping him.
foreshadowing.
Yeah, and then also
Which is a good director.
When he got into the vehicle, she said to him, "We're good," and that's what her mom said. To her
Which I
when she
mean,
got
like
on the bike.
he's a good director.
Yeah.
Like those things are
He
the
brings it
sign of a
back.
good
He
director.
yeah, and
He's trash.
the final confrontation. Did you guys like that when it was her and him?
Yeah.
That's great.
You thought that was good?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought that brought it back. Like the ending, I feel like was great.
I thought different. I thought it was a little anticlimactic, if I'm
Really?
being honest. Yeah. I thought it was a little anticlimactic. I thought there could have been more of a battle or a struggle between the two of them instead of her just, I guess, capturing him and just doing that to him. That's just my take.
I think his whole crew got smoked, didn't it? Because it was the whole battle.
Yeah.
So then he was just off with like 3 people. So by the end, he was just kind of worn down.
True.
And she was hunting him the whole movie, so.
That is true. I don't know. I thought it just.
And I think
lacked
he
a little
kind of
something.
gave up on himself. Like he knew it was his time.
He did. Yeah. He said, "So this is the day I die." What do you guys think? You want to get to ratings?
Sure.
Let's get to ratings. I gave it a 9.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8 also.
Do you guys think you watch it ASAP? Watch it whenever?
Skip it for sure.
What do you guys think?
No, I'd say watch it ASAP.
Watch it ASAP.
It's awesome.
Watch it ASAP. If you haven't seen Fury Road, watch that before and after.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's better.
Yeah.
I'm
It
sorry.
is better. It is better, but Furiosa is still awesome and great.
With the timeline, you can watch whichever one first.
Which honestly, I feel like if we would have reviewed Fury Road when it came out, I would still be the one that liked it the least, which I guess me and Joe liked it the same amount. So, but I liked Fury Road more than I liked this.
I would honestly say Fury Road is arguably,
The best action movie ever made. I know.
Easy.
yeah, arguably
No,
the
I know
best action movie
that's his
ever made.
opinion. I
Yeah.
know. I already know it is. I honestly,
it's unbelievable.
I
It is
anticipated
unbelievable.
Ben to say that about this one as well.
No, because this one, like I said, the CGI
Well, I did. I said
did affect
Well,
that.
that
For me.
I said that I thought Ben was going to say he hates CGI, but this is the best action movie ever made since Fury Road.
It arguably
might be.
is.
See
It arguably is. Yeah.
I
mean, it didn't
I don't,
have-
I'm not upset by that, but I'm just saying it is like funny that you hate it so much, but still you're like, nah, but still best movie.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it used a ton of CGI.
I don't
think
think
it was
so.
a lot of it was
It
practical.
was like polished, I think, a lot
I
of.
think a lot of it was practical still, and I appreciate that.
I mean, you could probably go back and watch what was practical. They have all the stuff online
yeah.
of all the crazy set pieces and stuff he does.
Yeah, you could probably figure it out if you do your research and stuff like that. Yeah. All right, guys, that's our review for Furiosa. Check out Furiosa, my favorite movie of the year so far. Great action movie. Check it out, and we'll see you on the next one.